Hi guys, it's Dan from TeePee here. It's been a few weeks since we've done a weekly Forex outlook for YouTube, so this week we've given you a bit of a treat. I'm going to take a look at 6 currency pairs. Tel's going to take a look at the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Things are starting to look interesting in the markets, with COVID still wreaking havoc, the US presidential elections on the horizon, and a no-deal Brexit looking likely. So we are going to start to see some really nice increased volatility in the markets, and let's just take a look at what opportunities they may present. It's worth noting straight away off the buck, anything in this video is not investment advice. This is strictly provided for education purposes and is our opinion on how we are viewing the markets for the coming weeks. So let's just get started straight away. So the first pair that I'm going to look at is the Euro USD. This has obviously been sent on our trading view. We can see that we've got our two targets. We've got the 1169 level and the 1164 level. The 1169 was our first target. This was marked up on our trading view. So if you don't follow us on trading view, be sure to jump on there because we give you guys plenty of free content. First target was struck last week. We've then seen it pull back. I'm well aware that we've started to see this slightly bullish structure forming, and we are also starting to see divergence across the lower lows. So I will be keeping an eye, and I want to see that we can break past this level that our first target was to warrant holding this trade down to the second target. A break above this structure simply means that I will likely close my original entry positions that we caught on this rejection just up here. It's been a good trade so far. However, we are starting to see that we're getting some stronger bullish impulses, especially across the lower time frames. On Friday, we had what was potentially a flag forming. However, the pair obviously broke above. That flag was never to be. It's absolutely fine. We rarely trade Fridays anyway, so there was no scaling from us. We're still riding this trade. We're still holding it risk-free. And if we can get a break of this structure, dependent on what price action forms, it's possible that I'll trade this to the upside. But for now, I want to see what kind of price action we are presented with early next week. The next pair I want to take a look at is GU. Now, GU is still stuck in this little range that we have got. We have got an ascending channel that, for me, in my opinion, I don't think this channel is necessarily ready to break yet. We were last week potentially looking at this being the bottom level of the channel, and we were curious if we'd already seen a break of the channel bottom. However, once we'd reanalyzed this pair, I actually think this sits better. We're really looking after the liquidity, so we are including all of these strong liquidity grabs on the top and the bottom. We can see that the channel middle is playing a strong relevance. And the reason I don't think this is ready to break yet is because if we look across our lows, we can see that we're starting to see these sellers leaving the market. The bearish pressure is definitely still there, but I won't be doing anything on this pair until we can see a break of this lower structure. Price action is starting to look relatively bullish, with all of these lower wicks showing us that the bullish pressure could potentially be building up. So we might find that we get another high, potentially a higher high, which could break above. I'm not going to be too phased about this level being taken out because it's only a range level. So I don't mind if we want to punch up above, and I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we do see this higher high form before the pair comes back down to this channel bottom. What I'm also interested in is where do the targets for this channel lie? If we do see a break of this channel bottom, where's our 1618 of the fib extension line? Now, there's no point in me applying this yet because the channel could break here, the channel could break here, we could even break all the way up here. So for now, there's no point. But what I'll be looking for when we get a break of this channel is, does our 1618 sit nicely somewhere around the bottom of this range? So the next thing that I want to look at is Euro NZD. We can see that we've got our break and we've got our pullback. As a lot of our students will know, I love seeing these continuation patterns form near the bottom of a structure because they can give us a key to see that we are going to get a break of a higher time frame structure, and this can make way for a nice entry. We traded this continuation last week. Targets were taken out and we have entered again up here. What we need to do now is confirm a rejection of this structure. Now, I believe we are likely to confirm the rejection of this structure through a break of this level just here. I want to see the price move away. What I then want to see, the next level that needs to be taken out, is this lower level. We could very easily see that we just get a double bottom form here with strong divergence. So we need to be aware of that. If we move further back through this pattern, we can see that this pattern does actually give us an indication that the price action was weakening. We've got divergence, full divergence across our MAs and across our histogram, and we could also see that across an equal low, near enough an equal low, we can see that the bears were starting to build up. So I'm interested to see what happens with this early next week. Higher time frame price action is also looking great. We have got this bearish pin bar form directly on this lower level just here. So this could be a significant indication that we are getting a rejection of this pattern bottom. So I'm interested to see, can the price move away from this lower structure early next week? If on Monday we find that the price fights its way back up and in, this is obviously completely invalidated and it doesn't mean anything to us for now. So I'm very interested in what this does for Monday. The trades that we've got on this are completely risk-free, so there's no harm in holding them, and profit has already been secured on Euro NZD from the break of that flag. So for now, this one is just one to hold and see where it wants to go and see if it wants to offer more. Dollar Swiss is probably my favorite setup that I'm going to look at for next week, and the reason for that is because we have a clear-cut path for both sides of the market. We have got this potential double top just here, which is still in play. Friday's price action was a little overextended in sitting in this range, which isn't too much of an issue, but we are still looking at this 912 being a key level in this pair at the moment. Simply put, if the price wants to come back down, test this level, reject and move away, this will confirm the channel break, retest and move away. If we clearly break through this structure and find a retest off this channel top or off the 912 level, then there is a good chance the double top is coming into play and we are likely going to see the channel bottom. Once again, there is no point in me applying fibs and looking for targets on this at the moment, because we could find that Monday gives us further ranging, and in which case targets are just going to change. So for now, there is no point in me applying fibs for something that may or may not be, that is just going to be switched up. If we get a clear rejection of the 912 and we start to see a move to the upside, I want to see that move to the upside become relatively impulsive. I will then be in the lower time frames looking for continuations, looking to trade the targets for this channel. If we get a break below, I want a clear cut rejection on the pullback when we come back. This will then make way for shorts, and once again I'll be looking for a confluence in the targets lying just around this channel bottom, so that we can then take a nice and swift easy short trade to the bottom of this channel. We have seen divergence form throughout this channel, so I am well aware that this could be the final leg in a move to the downside. It could be the final lower low that we see before we get a break to the upside, but I'm very interested to keep an eye on this, because if the divergence does continue and we get a break of this upper structure somewhere over here, maybe not next week but potentially the week after, this could make way for some really nice trades to the upside. This could coincide with the US elections quite nicely. Euro GBP I've completely reanalyzed. We've seen some serious wick fishing on this pair over the last few weeks. Initially we thought we'd seen a breakout just here, and then we had the potential to see that we'd had another breakout just here. Once again, much like GU, I have reanalyzed this pair, and actually I'm preferring the way that this channel is sitting. We've got a nice established higher time frame level just below us. So in the week view, we can see that this is a good level within this pair. In the lower time frames in this channel, we can see the amount of liquidity that lies at this channel center. So I have good reason to believe that our channel is now in the right place. What I'm interested to see is, can we get a further lower low on this pair? So can we see that the price action continues to the downside and that this increasingly stronger divergence continues? Because once again, if it does, we may be able to get in this trade not only on a break of the channel top, but we may be able to get an entry at the rejection of the channel bottom, potentially a continuation halfway up, because we can see how indecisive this price action is becoming around this channel middle, and then we can get a trade on the break and retest of the channel top. So it could make way for potentially 3 entries before we've even started the move to the upside. But we need to keep an eye on this. EG is going to see some serious volatility given the state of affairs regarding Brexit at the moment. So we need to be vigilant in trading this. As we always say anyway, you're going to want to be vigilant with anything that you're trading, but even more so on EG right now. With the state of affairs that we've got with Brexit right now, you need to be really vigilant trading a pair like this. AJ I find really interesting, and the reason that I'm liking this at the moment is we have got this potential inverse head and shoulders just here. The head is a little bit bigger than I'd like. However, it's not actually breaking any parameters for this to actually potentially be a true inverse head and shoulders. Our neckline has got a nice degree to it. I'd like to see that our right shoulder can have slightly more depth to it. We have a really decent, it's like 250 candles in the build up to this pattern forming. TeePee students will know exactly how I'll be looking to trade this. We had a trade very similar to this on GJ earlier in the year, and the GJ and EJ trades. EJ we still have running from May. GJ we took 900 pips off the break of a channel with an inverse head and shoulders. You will not see inverse head and shoulders very often. So if this does come into play, I will be very interested to catch the trade, not only on the break of the neckline, but also the channel itself. Once we see that break, like everything else that we've looked at, with the state of the fundamentals that we have in play at the moment, a lot of these pairs are in build-up mode. So they are making way for some bigger moves. We are going to see some serious outbreaks over the next month, over the next 6 weeks. So we need to be ready to catch those. What I find interesting also on this pair is if we move into the 4-hour view, we can see this really nice bearish continuation. So as I've already said, I'd like to see a little bit more depth to the right shoulder. This pennant has got the ability to give us the depth that we are after. Our MACD is looking good for a further move south, so I will be keeping an eye on this early next week, and if we can catch this break and pullback, there's a good chance I will trade it to the downside in the lower time frames. So realistically, we're looking for swings, but I will happily take an intra or a scalp on this position if the 4-hour structure stays like it is.
Here we have New Zealand dollar, US dollar. The first thing I saw with this pair was a potential double top that we have here. This was confirmed with a break last week. However, what I have noticed, and which could be the reason why we haven't actually moved away from the neckline, is this possible head and shoulders right here. Now there is slightly less candles than I would have liked to see for a head and shoulders. However, I could still class this as a primary uptrend. What I'd like to see is the neckline broken of this potential head and shoulders to confirm, and then I will be entering shorts on the retest of the neckline. I'm actually already in sales from the retest of the double top that I showed you earlier. In the 4-hour time frame, we can actually see a bearish continuation pattern forming that we are sat in right at this moment. The MACD is looking good in both the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame for shorts. Therefore, I will be keeping an eye on both this continuation pattern in the 4-hour time frame and the break of the neckline of the possible head and shoulders in the daily time frame in order to add some more positions to this pair.
TeePee students will get real-time updates of the trades that we have mentioned in today's video. There's plenty of more bits that we'll be looking at. Make sure you're following us on TradingView and you're in our Telegram channels. Jump in our free chat room and check out our Instagram at TeePee_FX. TeePee students get a wide range of benefits. Not only do they get access to the vault, our own fully comprehensive Forex course, you also get one-on-one sessions, access to the student chat room, and as we've already said, real-time live market trade setups. The vault is home to videos and written guides. It literally has everything that you need to become a consistently profitable independent trader. www.tpfx.co.uk to become a TeePee student, at TeePee_FX to check out our Instagram, and we wish you a profitable week trading.